Well, what's happening, if you're asking what I think the impact is, the Democratic Party, we have a college Democrat or a young Democrat, university Democrat there, has shifted dramatically to the left in the last 30 or 40 years. John F. Kennedy, people lazily referred to him as a liberal Democrat, and so he was perceived in his day. But he had politics identical to Ronald Reagan's. He was a hawk on defense, the largest military buildup in peacetime history. He was a militant anti-communist. He was for a capital gains tax cut and a balanced budget. Today, John F. Kennedy would be considered a right-wing Republican. And I attribute the shift in the Democratic Party to the left's capture of our educational and media institutions. And I think it is a tremendous, I didn't get into this, but as I said, this student who wrote an article attacking me, a malicious and dishonest article, but and who works for Campus Progress, which is an institution created by Hillary Clinton and John Podesta and George Soros, and is a Democratic Party institution, in the Daily Text, and defends a terrorist responsible for the murder through suicide bombings of 101 innocent people in the Middle East. Sami al-Arab. He was acquitted. So the Democratic Party has taken into its... And I find on campuses when well, never mind. Professor Cloud. Let's give Professor Cloud.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I hardly know where to begin because the reason I feel so passionately about being here and being vocal and present is because you say that you don't want people to get fired, you never call for anybody to get fired, and so forth and so on. However, the people that read your literature, the people that read your front page magazine, they do. And they set themselves upon those of us that you have targeted, and they create a climate of witch-hunting hysteria which bears no relationship to the reality of my teaching or the ethical and beautiful teaching of my colleagues. In communication and women's and gender studies are award-winning teachers, and I invite anyone here to come into my classroom anytime, because everything that he is saying is basically a lie. And given that I'm the target of all this, I feel like I should just be able to say what I think here. Also, I think it's important to notice that faculty can separate their activism from their teaching. Yes, I'm an activist.
Is there a question? Yeah.
Don't interrupt the speaker. Don't interrupt the speaker.
We're going to give Professor Cloud a privilege she would not give me. She can...
So all I'm suggesting is that we have, all of us are grown-ups, we have separate arenas for our lives. I have a family, I don't want to cook supper. I don't cook supper for my students. I'm an activist in politics. In the classroom, I think that it's very important to teach students how to think, and that the hysteria that gets whipped up around sort of these figures like myself, I know I look really scary to you right now, that hysteria actually has consequences in the real lives of people. And my question actually is, if students are not a blank slate, if they're not moldable, and if actually you respect the students of the University of Texas, which I do because they're brilliant, how could you claim, I mean, all my students I've been always so impressed with them, how could you claim that they can be indoctrinated? I think that belittles and demeans our students.
Good question. Now we see how we've entered the world of George Orwell here. I write texts in which I'm very clear that I don't object to leftist teaching. They're not about professorial bias, because everybody has a bias. They're about academic freedom. And Professor Cloud calls this because, what, I don't know, some letter writers to the editor get a little bent out of shape. I'm responsible for that, and this is an atmosphere of hysteria that's original. Now, if you'll notice, there are several people with badges and arms here. My friend Floyd is a bodyguard.
Oh.
Well, that's because little fascists like you have attacked me physically on many college campuses, have attacked my friends, like Ann Coulter. I'm answering it. You are the hysterics. You are the fascists. You are and Professor Cloud, who calls me a liar, is an inciter while pretending to be this mother who's, cooking. This is the second time. This is the second time I've come to this zoo, which you have turned the University of Texas into a zoo. The second time that we've had to have police present and where she has organized an obstructive demonstration. And despite the fact that she could have been on this platform and debated me, if she would have done one thing